Hey everyone, it's Richard Metalfan here, continuing the Ozzy Osbourne discography review, and today we're going to be talking about Bark at the Moon, his third album, released in 1983. Now, before we go into that, let's dive right back into about two years prior, about 1981 or so. Of course, they were still touring for Diary of a Madman at the time in 1981. And that, of course, during that tour going into like 1982, Randy Rhoads, Ozzy's former guitarist, died in a tragic plane crash. And it was really hard because when people first heard of Ozzy's solo album, like those first two albums from 1980, 1981, one people assume with, of course, with Ozzy and then Randy. But then I've heard also around after Randy Rhoads' death, I heard Ozzy got into sort of like some emotional insanity. From what I heard from the grapevine, I'm not really too sure. I don't even remember. Um, and with this album, they got a new guitar. So playing guitar is now Jakey Lee. Now, Jakey Lee, I thought those were some really big shoes to fill because after they're losing Randy Rhoads, who would fill in the shoes for that? But Jakey Lee, in my opinion, I think he is really talented and he definitely holds the bar with this album. And this album is actually a pretty good album. And of course, rounding out the lineup for this album on bass, we got Bob Daisley and Tommy Aldridge handling the drums. And they both do a really great job on the rhythm section on here. So, without further ado, let's dive into this album track by track. Now, starting things off is the title track, Bark at the Moon. It starts off with a great guitar riff that it just sounds really great. Great right there. Great way to start off the album, and it's a fucking banger. Just like I said, that opening riff is just powerful. And then there's like that millions of people, and then Bark at the Moon. And this song actually has like really like two solos that are really great, and Jake's playing is just fast and emotional. Well, and I think it's a really great way to start off Bark at the Moon. But then going into You're No Different. Now, this is kind of different from Bark at the Moon. This one kind of is where the album slows down a bit after only one song. I thought it was kind of weird placement-wise. I thought it would have fit like probably like in the second half, the end of the first half of the album. But You're No Different. This one is a ballad. And it's very soft for like Ozzy standards. Where it's I don't know. No, and I thought at first when I first heard this song, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a good song, but I thought it was weird that he would put like the good song at the start of the album like he did on Diary of the Man. But I feel like the You're No Different, like the keyboard here just makes it sound very 80s, which is when this album came out. And I just think it's a really good song, like has some really good guitar work and just overall pretty good vibes. Next up is Now You See It, Now You Don't. Now, this song is kind of reminds me a little bit of like Crazy Babies from one of his later albums, No Rest for the Wicked. And it's kind of the funny song about the album, which is kind of about sex. But I don't know, it's just a silly song. I'm sorry, I'm kind of immature. But I feel like this song, it's good, but I would recommend not listening it too much because it can be repetitive. But when it gets to the soul, though, it fits really well, and I think I think it's a good song. Next up is Rock and Roll Rebel. Now, with this song, I don't know really how to think about this song. The riffs on here are really good, and the chorus is really catchy. It's just just a rock and rebel. but I think it's a great solo in here. But I feel like the only difference is so far from what we've heard from the first three songs, like there is just now more solos those on here. Next up is Center of Eternity. Okay, now this song starts off with a choir and then an organ sort of like taking over, and this song sounds like you're like in a church or something. And then once the intro is over, it's just the guitar and metal. It's very headbanging, but I feel like the riffs are kind of weird on here. They're here, but overall, let's just move on to the next song, So Tired. Now, I was really shocked when I heard this song for the first time. I mean, the Prince of Darkness can write something so beautiful, and I just love how the band actually uses like a orchestra with this song. The music is great, and Ozzy sings good, and the fills the orchestra and the solo is great. When you hear ballads, especially from like a metal band, you'll often be able to hear the song from a metal band. But I think the song is really beautiful and soft, and this was actually a single from Bark the Moon. And honestly, there's really nothing bad to say about this. Slow Down. I honestly think, in my opinion, this is probably the weakest song on here. The first 25 seconds, I feel like it's pretty good, but I feel like it's just one tone right there on there. But I don't know. Yeah. Next up is Waiting for Darkness. Now, I think this is a really good song. It has some really great bass notes, and then some guitar. A guitar riff comes in, which sounds really great. And then when Ozzy sort of comes in on the vocals, the song kind of has a bit of a dramatic kind of turn. And then Ozzy sounds really great on here, and the chorus is really catchy again. And around the 2.5 minute mark, there's like a riff that sounds very dark sounding thing, and I just think it's really good. And I think that's a really great way to end the album. Now, unless if you have like the 1995 remaster like I do, this actually has a bonus track called Spires in the Dark. Now, this song actually has a kind of a scary intro, and the bass plays like a one-tone riff, but it's kind of very creepy. And it's just a guitar riff that comes in, that sort of joins in the bass, and then Ozzy starts singing. Nice way to end the album. Now, overall, Bark at the Moon by Ozzy Osbourne, I would consider this kind of a next era in Ozzy's album, the Jake E. Lee era, I should say. So I'd probably give this album a score. I'm going to give Bark at the Moon by Ozzy Osbourne an 8 out of 10. So that's my review of the album, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it, and I'll see you all in the next video. And as always, keep it metal.